The bids are in, the gavel's dropped. Ladies and gentlemen, here at WineBid, we are finally hammered. That's right. This is WineBid's podcast, taking all things wine value, wine retail, wine auctions, and just wine. With you as always, I am Jeff McGurn on the WineBid's marketing team, our host. And joining me today, as always, again, is Paul Walker, our wine expert, also known as the Magistrate of Malbec. That's right, Paul. Welcome back.
Running through the alphabet with those.
It's not alphabetical. Yesterday.
No, it's not alphabetical, but you
were the tribune of tartaric acid.
Real reaching and not an expert on those.
I wonder how you get some of these monikers sometimes.
I do too. I wonder how I get any of them because I've never heard any of them before. So.
These are the things you're known for. Today we're going to be talking about France. Let's jump
as a whole. Like the country, or what wines
the wines from France that are coming into auction or have come into auction this week.
Currently in auction this week.
Are new in auction.
Yeah,
right. We're only going over stuff that are new in auction this week. Okay.
New this week, and that by this week, the auction that closes at 7 p.m. Pacific on the 14th.
Yes, that is when they close this week. All right, let's start with Alsace.
I knew it. I knew you were going to start with Alsace.
It begins with an A.
Yeah. Marcel Dice Altenburg 2-pack. That caught my eye from Alsace.
Yeah, I'm guessing all of the Zin Umbrecht didn't catch your eye.
Actually, I think those were added late because I was looking through, I think, and this is something to remind the robots that are listening, is that always wines added after Sunday start every Sunday night at 7:15 Pacific. Multiple additional wines are typically added the following day on Monday. Now, generally speaking, most of the new stock, the new wines in auction are live or added, on Monday morning or maybe Monday afternoon. But there are additions to the auction throughout the week, generally in lesser quantities. So just talking about Zuhnhundrechten this week, I actually didn't see these, and there's like 10 different lots, right?
Yeah, and it's all, they're almost all from the 90s.
That's very cool.
94, 98, 99, and they're not super expensive. I mean, most of them are under $100. So you've got this like 94 Pinot Gris, Heimburg, Truchheim, Vendages Tardif for $60. 99 Pinot Gris, Claus Vinsbuhl for 55. I mean, I like the Pinot Gris out of Alsace. I know you don't like Alsatian wine very much, but I think it's delicious. 97s, 94s.
No, these are great. These wines are awesome, and they last a long, long time.
They last a long, long time.
Especially late harvest. Those will last many years.
Especially late harvest. There's some, actually 89 Trimbach Gewürztraminer SGN split for $40. Well, it's got a bid. It's 41 now. There's two of those. And then
89, I didn't see. Oh, that
actually two lots. One with two bottles, another lot has no bids on it. An 89 SGN, Gewürztraminer SGN split.
Really? Okay. I didn't even see those.
$40. $40. That's $40. Got a lot of age on it. And then for anybody who knows someone who likes white wine and wants something that's probably aged decently and still decent, it's turning 30 this year. There's the 94s, the 94 Pinot Gris. So I thought that there was some really cool stuff coming in. Again, a lot. Right. Let's travel, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit further south to Champagne. Champagne, I believe, is south of Alsace.
Technically, yeah, it's south. That's true.
So we've got some really interesting old Moet Chandon Brut Dry Imperial. We've got a 70 for $320, a 73 for $400. There's some Dom from the 70s and 80s, 71, 82, 92, 99.
Yeah, it's a nice old Dom Perignon for sure.
And a 96 Rosé, which, 96, big year for Champagne.
Yeah.
I thought all that was super duper cool. There's an 89 Veuve Pavé Privé for $290, which I thought was kind of interesting if you're interested in older Veuves. There's some Paul Barra non-vintage Grand Cru Grand Rosé, and in the auction there's a 750 for $46, and you can get a mag for $90, which I thought was cool. And then
also, by the way, I looked at a map, and Champagne is actually well north of Alsace.
Is it really? I thought Alsace was all the way at the top. But what do I? Well, I'm from California, so there are only two places in the world. There's California, and then there's parking. So that's sort of how geography works in California. Oh, I guess is it?
Yeah, it's most certainly north. Yeah, it's north of. I mean,
is it like
Champagne's up there. You forget how.
Yeah, no, I've been to Champagne. I've never been to Alsace though. So what do I know?
No.
And then have you had this Marie Courtine Coteau Champenois Leblanc Trembel?
I've tasted various Coteau Champenois, but like generally speaking, no, because I don't. If I'm buying like still wine that's Chardonnay or Pinot Noir, I'm looking elsewhere, not because I think it's better, but because Coteau Champenois, especially at auction, always seems to get multiple bids. So it's not like something you can just seek out. And also, it's really hard to find. I think in general, it's not like you can find it very readily, I think, at retail, although I don't know, I haven't been into too many retail stores recently, but it's one of those things where I feel like it's quite collectible, especially depending on producer. But no, I'm not familiar with those wines. I've had the Marie Courtin, is that producer you said?
Yeah, Marie Courtin.
Yeah, I've had the sparkling wines, but I have not had the still wines. So I'm not familiar with those. Or even I should say, the sparkling wines from Coteau Champenois, I'm not familiar with them either. So.
Well, hey, there's some Coteau Champenois that we've got two lots that each have their 2-bottle lots for 120, which I actually didn't think was terrible. I feel like $60 a bottle for Coteau Champenois is not too bad. And then there's some Marie Courtin Brut Pinot Noir. A 2-bottle lot for 150. These are all from our France Direct program, by the way.
They're expected in a couple of months.
Yeah. 2.5 months. So there's a bunch of the Marie Courtin sparkling.
Efflorescence, concordance, and indulgence, like all these different designations, which I'm imagining. Well, they're also different vintages, but the cuvées they're probably different too. I don't know. I mean, Jeff always calls me an expert, but that's so far from true.
Expert. You're an expert. Sounds like
I have no clue as to so like the concordance or concordance, if you will, 17 is 100% Pinot Noir. Selection Nassau also, and it's sans soufre. So for you natural wine fans, these Marie Courtin champagnes are the way to go. I would imagine the still wines, and again, I'm making an assumption here, and I'm going to check the back label because that's how I found out about the others. But the Coteau Champenois Blanc de Tremble, which we have the 19 of, let's see, I was going to say that I'm assuming it's Chardonnay, but that's not necessarily the case. So there are other white varieties there. I don't know. It might be Pinot Blanc, but it's probably Chardonnay. Anyway, it's vin biologique and biodynamique, so it's biodynamic and organic, and most likely, I think it's unfiltered. It's got indigenous yeast, this is all coming from the back label, by the way. The cool stuff. But no, the still wines I've definitely never had, so those are very interesting, and they're not terribly expensive. They're like what, 120 for the white 19 2-pack. So
120 is a 2-pack. So
right, so $60
$60. Which isn't. I mean, look. I think the last time I went to Trader Joe's or Costco, I think Vouv was like close to $60 a bottle. Like it's those are getting these wines are getting up there. So for something that's like producer and super rare and off, I think $60 is a fantastic price. Yeah, by the way, bad. I even thought this like Lanson Brut Green Label. I don't know if you've had that. I have not had it, but I was looking at some of the tasting notes. I thought that looked interesting, and it's only $35, right? So it's coming in below, pay for.
No, that sounds great.
It's
the one thing I would also just be careful about. Okay, there's a back label, which is good because it does show you the disgorgement date, which is 2018. Whenever you see all these scores for multi-vintage wines, it's a little bit misleading because I don't know what specific cuvee they're referring to. So that's something that's it's always been kind of a problem with multi-vintage wines at auction, is that, unless you know the specific cuvee, you don't know whether or not the score applies to that specific cuvee, right? So like this one Thankfully now a lot of producers are putting additional information on the back labels for multi-vintage wines, and this Lansong green label, says it's been disgorged in 18. So, I mean, I don't know what the base wine is. It doesn't tell you that much information, but it's at least something before 17 vintage. So anyway, but yeah, it's a good deal. It's not bad.
$35 seems like a good deal. I should note that if you look on like Cellar Tracker, community value is like $52. Also worth noting that this is organic. It's made with organic grapes. So
yeah, I think that's their thing, right? Like that's like sort of the message of this particular green label. So it's like, because they say it both on the front and the back label, and then it has an eco cert like registered trademark stamp on the back as well. So I think that they're making a point here.
We're making a point out of it. I thought these Francis Boulard Brut Nature wines were interesting. We've got a couple 2-bottle lots, also France Direct, expected in 10 weeks. We've got the 2014.
I don't know those wines at all. I've never, ever tasted any of these.
Those look,
again, like zero dosage, it looks like. So
one of them is zero dosage. The other one is Bleu Murte.
Probably leaning along the lines of natural style. Although, so this one, okay, cool. So the 14 Brut Nature Les Rochers says it is 100% Chardonnays, and it tells you where the vineyard is too, which is cool. So it's really nice that they're putting a lot of info on the back labels. It gives you a little bit more information.
We've got a couple bottles from Vérité at Sorbet.
At Sorbet. See, that's a natural producer. I don't know. Those wines to me, they're like, I don't want to get flack for this, but they're a little, there's some oxidation, which some people definitely go for.
You hate that. I know you hate that.
I'm not going to say I hate it, but like certain Baresh wines, like the Reflet d'Antan stuff, like they have variable levels of oxidation depending on the release or whatever. But the Vouette Sorbet, the Cuvée Fidèle, which we've gotten this week, and looks like a 21, so recent disgorgement date, 2021. The Blanc d'Argile now, that one, I don't know. And actually, do we have there is a back label photo, disgorgement in 2020. So they're relatively recent cuvées. But definitely on the more natural end.
More natural. I mean, so there's some really cool stuff. If you're into natural wine and organic stuff, we have some really cool, interesting stuff in the champagne realm at auction this week at all price points too, all the way from like $30, $35 a bottle, $60 a bottle to $120 a bottle. I thought these Percival Farge Premier Rosés were interesting. We've got
Mag, $60.
$30 for the 750, $60 for the mag, and then we've got the C de Pinot Brut for $35. So I don't know. I thought those were kind of interesting. I think that sort of wraps up champagne. Let's take a hop, skip. And by the way, I think it's possible that Alsace is north of Reims when you take into account the curvature of the earth. That's my theory. It's just an optical illusion when you look at it on a map. Maps are wrong. Okay, let's go to Corsica. Okay.
Corsica. Okay. I didn't even know there was Corsican wine in the auctions.
Yeah, we have a 16 Domaine Comte Abatucci Cuvée Collection 2 Cavalier Diplomatique.
I got to look this up.
The Empire
massacring this pronunciation. So
I know that was perfectly pronounced. It's $50. We've got one of them. We see Corsican wine come in from time to time. This is a white blend.
Yeah, Abatucci, actually, we've seen a number of these wines in the last few months, but I have no familiarity with these at all. So that's interesting. I wonder what the variety is. It's a Kermit Lynch wine. So Kermit Lynch imported it. Interesting. Vin de France Cuvée Collection.
I'm trying to find the makeup of like the variety, but I cannot find it. It just shows up as a white blend. But I don't know. I thought this one was super interesting. Anytime we see wines outside of sort of the mainstream production areas, I always think it's super interesting because sometimes you get a lot of the local grapes, which is really cool, instead of just the commercially viable grapes that we tend to see here stateside. Moving over to Southwest France. There's a couple of interesting things in Southwest France. There's this 12 bottle lot OWC of 500 milliliter bottles of 1995 Thierry La
Gravier.
Yeah, La Gravière
Yeah.
Cuvée for 13.20.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like an alternative to turns. It's interesting stuff. It's quite good. It's quite good, actually.
Well, for $1,320, you can have 12 bottles. So, I mean, we're looking at a little bit more than $100 per 500 milliliter of these guys. But I mean, the R95, so they've got some age on them. And they look like they're in pretty good condition, actually.
Great shape, good, nice color on them. Yeah, it's about, just for your information, Jeff, Montbazillac is about an hour and 25-minute car ride away from Sauternes. So there you go.
There you go. They're like neighbors. Then we've got this 1982 Claw Triguadina Cahors that it already has a bid on it. And this one is started at, I think, 120, is at 130 now. This one I thought was interesting. So somebody's super interested in this.
Yeah, this is a super rare one. 82 Claude. Yeah, I've never seen this before. Claude Trigadina. I don't even know how to pronounce that. That's really wild. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, good luck finding another one of those.
Right. I mean,
Excuse me.
Stuff like this doesn't come across every day.
That is very rare. Very rare. That's
very
cool.
rare, very rare stuff. Let's head over to the Rhone, right? Let's talk Rhone wines here for a minute.
There's some stars from the Rhone this week for sure.
Some stars from the Rhone. I got that 98 Boucassel just at 120. They've got the 2000 at 86 with a bid, and the 2016 at 115. I just thought, like, it's a 98. Tasting notes look pretty good. $120 for Boucassel doesn't seem crazy to me. I picked out this 03 Gugal Côte Rôtie Chateau d'Ampuis for 120. We've got two of those. We've got
picked it up, like they're bidding on it, or
no? I picked it out.
Picked it for your list. Okay,
it's my list.
You said you picked it up, and I was like, oh wait, I wish. Pick it up already. The auction's not closed yet.
96 Jean-Louis Chave, Hermitage, two of those.
Yeah, there's a stellar collection of Chave in this week.
A ton of Chave.
Yeah, like Magnums, like of 03, 04, 05. There's Mags of Blanc, which I've never seen. 02 is a very, very curious vintage, because I know it was an absolute disaster in the Southern Rhone, but in the Northern Rhone, I think there are probably some great wines, but you can see the price discrepancy between like 01 and 02 red, for example. It's double. The 01 is 505, the 02 is 250. And same thing with the white. The 02 white mag is only, but I mean, 370 for a mag of any Chave whatsoever is it's pretty, strikes me as being quite inexpensive. I mean, even the 03, white 750 mLs are 310. So yeah, I'm very curious about 02. I mean, it's an interesting one, but that 02 mag of white really struck me as something to try with the group, to see, but I'll bet it's delicious and it's not crazy expensive.
Yeah, a lot of really cool Chave, a lot of stuff from the 90s, like you said, in the early 2000s, some large format.
Yeah, 95, 96, 97, which those don't pop in every week, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the 4 mags of Chave at auction, five mags of Chave at auction. I mean, we don't usually see this much Chave coming at auction. Let me just say that, right? It's rare. It's rare.
A nice batch. Yeah, it's a beautiful selection.
It's a beautiful
batch. There's some Morteray Lirac Cuvée Rendevois, which Domaine de la Morteray also makes Chateauneuf, which is delicious, but the Lirac is excellent. And they have the same cuvée for the Lirac as the Chateauneuf, and it's called La Rendevois, Queen of the Woods. It's delicious wine. It's fantastic and not terribly expensive. $30 for the 16, and there's 8 of those. That stuck out. There's some Rayas.
A ton of Rayas. Now I got the 95 CDP reserve for 1820, and they got the 96 for 1155, and the 98 for 1200, and the 06 for 930.
Serious mid 90s vintages that don't come in every day. There's the 11 Fonsalette reserve as well for 300, but yeah. No, some really nice wine from the Rhone. I was going to say, in Provence, there's your favorite, Treff, 22 Tempier Rosé is available. And also, there's some Condrieu. There's some François Villard, Condrieu, Villa Poinciana, which is interesting. Another wine I'm not familiar with, 2-pack for 160. And I think that's got to be a France Direct lot too, right? I'm not looking at it, but I'm pretty sure it is.
All right, we've got about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
Let's go through Bordeaux and Burgundy.
We better do Burgundy. Let's leave Bordeaux for that. You said we're going to do it last, so let's do it.
We'll do it last. We'll do it last.
Let me just blow through the Burgundy.
Blow through it.
Pure Jardin. There's a fantastic selection of Pure Jardin Meursaults and also some reds, which I didn't even know he made. Richebourg, Griot Chambertin. I had no idea. There's some Guillain Barteau. There's some Dovisat. There's some great Trappé. There's Rouleau, like older Rouleau, 96 Rouleaus, 02. There's fantastic mid 99 and 93, like banner vintage red Burgundy Robert Arnoux Souchot with prices to match. There's some Laflesse with some Dujac. There's a mag of de la Tour Chablis for $55, which I thought was a great deal. There's some Lafon. There's a Roumier Rouchat 09 and some fantastic Armand Rousseau. And Hubert-Ligné Clos de la Roche, 01, Drouin Beaune, Clos de Mouche Blanc, 14. There's some Dangevy Taipied Volnay. And that's my Burgundy, blow through.
All right. I'm gonna blow through Bordeaux. Okay.
Yeah, tell me what you picked.
86 Mouton already has a bid on it, taking from 810 to
86 Mouton back in auction. Wow. It's
back in auction.
Perennial star.
It's a star,
A weekly star, I should say, because it's been in the last few weeks.
It's been in the last few weeks. 2000 Les Forts de la Tour for 210. 98 Aubryon has a bid on it at 1.
Yeah, I flag that too.
95 Costs de Esternel. We have two of those at 180 a piece. I didn't think that was crazy, especially for $180. 2000 Lynch Bage for 250. We've got 4 of those. There's some other Lynch Bage too. Some pretty marquee vintages of Lynch Bage in auction. 2000 Leoville Las Casses at 295. And 88 Dechem at 295.
Yeah, there's 88, 89, and 90. The trio of amazing vintages. Half bottles of 88 and 90, and then full bottles of 89 for 370, which is not terrible. Yeah. Phenomenally good wine.
And by the way, stuff. I said 295. It's actually 360. I misspoke for the Dechem for the 88.
No, the 89. Oh. Well, because I was going to say the 89 is at 370, but...
okay. The 89 is 370. Yeah. 2000 Pichon Longueville Comtesse de Lalande, 2 of those at 225. And then
there's a 4-pack of 2020. Did you see that?
Yes.
There's Ducru, Leoville Las Casses, Pichon Lalande, and Côte d'Esternel 4-pack for 1145, and then Ducru on its own, which is interesting. Kind of like 2020 is starting to show up more regularly these days. 2020,
we're seeing a lot more in auction. The 66 Ducru, already has a bid on it, taking from 180 to 190. I was like, 180 for a 66 Ducru.
Yeah, that's a tough year, but
it's a tough year, but it's also $180.
Yeah, it's not
1966
expensive.
90 Leoville Barton for 185.
Yeah, that's a really nice one. I haven't had it in a long time, but it's good.
I'll bet you that one's gonna be outstanding. 2000 Pavie for 380. 89 Pichon Baron for 255.
Yes, yeah, that's a fantastic wine. Still under $300, and I think it performs way better. I saw there's 15 Palmer in for 345, and I'm like, you know what? I'd rather spend $245 on the 89 Pichon Baron. And
seriously,
so good.
I'll bet that's going to be amazing.
It's great. It's great. I had it not too long ago. It's really, really good. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do we have 2 bottles of 82 Garade La Rose for $295?
Right, and that's probably just gonna go in the 300 range. I would not imagine.
One already has a bid.
Soon. Okay, yeah.
One already has a bid, so I think you're right. That's gonna go through because I think like 82 Marquis vintage, Rod La Rose, second grow, like. How is that not even more? But I feel like that's a great price if you want to try just an epic vintage of a great producer. Yeah. 75 L'Evangel for $290.
Yeah, I saw that. Not too bad. That didn't seem terrible. Especially 75 coming up on a 50-year birthday. So that one's not going to break the bank. 75 Petrus has been recently, and I think it's like 2,200 or something. So 295 for the L'Evangel is not terrible.
That's not too bad. 2000 Chateau Trapelong Mondot, 2 of those at 130.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's not a bad price. 23-year-old, that's probably drinking great right now.
24 years now. Happy New Year. 05 Cannon. for 115. And I feel like Canon has really I feel like Canon's becoming a lot more popular recently.
The recent vintages are expensive. They're super expensive, but
they've been super sought after and super, super good. So I thought an 05 Canon for 115 seemed very reasonable for, to me. And then 98 Le Bon Pasteur for 75.
Yeah, that's another. I picked that out too because that's a great Saint-Emilion, right bank, fantastic right bank vintage. I would grab that actually because that's going to be, I think, over $100 territory before too long. Really, really good.
I'll bet you that stuff is absolutely outstanding. 05 Chateau La Arosée. For 60. I was like, I thought both of those were like they're older. 05 is a great year, right? And it's like $60 for an 05, 19 years of age on it. It's probably singing right now.
05. Yeah, that's another great pick. I'd love to try that wine. I haven't had it, I don't think, since, gosh, I don't even know, probably released, but yeah.
So, and then I wanted to end on this. Okay. We've got just a couple minutes left. Talk to me about these couple wines.
Which wines?
Couple, COPEL. We have 19 couple.
Wines,
Bordeaux Blanc Sec. Couple wines, Bordeaux Blanc Sec 22. Couple wines, Pomerol. Couple wines, Ribera del Duero. Couple wines.
It's a
negotiation.
It's got to be some kind of it's got to be some kind of broker because they're all also from France Direct as well.
They all have bids on them.
They do have bids. Interesting.
So I was what's going on with
they're bottled. Yeah, they all have bottle numbers. So I'm just looking at the white Bordeaux from 19, number 615 of 1,200 bottles. So yeah, I do not know. I did see these and just kind of glanced at them and didn't pay any attention because I don't know anything about them. But yeah, I don't know. And there's Cahors, Pomerol, there's Spanish wine, Rioja, there's Sauterne. Very interesting. Well, they're all between like 60 and 75. Oddly enough, the Spanish wines are more expensive. Or no, excuse me, the Sauternes are more expensive.
The Sauternes are more expensive. I thought it was super interesting, and I was like, and they almost all of them have bids. Like some of them have like multiple, like one has like 3 bids, right?
Yeah, curious. I gotta look up because I don't know anything about them. So.
Well, anyway, that just about wraps up our France episode with WineBid's Finally Hammered. This has been Jeff McGurn and Paul Walker wishing you happy bidding and cheers.
Cheers.